You make $52,000 a year for taxes. You've done the math 100 times. After rent, after the car payment, after groceries, after the subscriptions you keep meaning to cancel, you have $340 left at the end of the month. Sometimes less, never more. You don't want to be rich, not yet. You just want the number to breathe. You want one stream of income that isn't tied to how many hours you showed up. You want to build something on the side, something that runs while you're at your desk pretending to be in the meeting. So you start looking, and that's where it goes wrong. Not because you're lazy, not because you're not smart enough, because every search you run, every video you watch, every thread you read points you toward the same category of thing, the exciting thing, the thing that sounds like a business but works like a lottery ticket. You choose wrong, then you choose wrong again, then one more time. This is that story, and at the end of it is the business you should have started first. You find it on a Saturday afternoon, a video of a man opening a box of trading cards. His hands are shaking. He pulls one out and holds it to the camera. His face does something you haven't seen on a financial video before. Pure joy. The card is worth $4,000. You watch 3 more videos, then 5. Then you're reading forums at midnight learning the difference between PSA 9 and PSA 10 grading. By Sunday, you've convinced yourself this isn't gambling. This is a skill. This is pattern recognition. This is research. You spend $800 on your first bulk lot. The cards arrive in a flat-rate box on a Tuesday. You spend 4 hours sorting. Most of them are worth less than the cardboard they're printed on. 3 of them are worth something. You list them online. 2 sell for a combined $47. 1 sits in your listing for 6 weeks without a single view. You spend another $300 chasing the loss. You don't make it back. The problem wasn't the research. The problem was what you were actually doing. You weren't building a business. You were building a habit that looked like a business from the outside and felt like a slot machine from the inside. The difference between those two things is the difference between an asset and an addiction. You close the listings on a Thursday night and don't talk about it again. 3 months later, you have a new idea, a better idea, a real idea. You've been using your company's internal scheduling tool for 2 years, and it is, without question, the worst piece of software you have ever touched. It crashes on Tuesdays. It loses data on Fridays. Nobody in the office understands why the company still pays for it. And that's when the thought arrives, fully formed, obvious. You could build something better. You spend 2 weekends watching tutorials. You find a developer on a freelance platform who quotes you $4,500 for a basic version. You negotiate him down to $3,800. You pay the deposit. You spend 4 months giving feedback on prototypes, changing the button colors, debating the onboarding flow. The product launches on a Wednesday morning. You post about it in 3 small business Facebook groups. You get 11 likes, 2 comments asking if it's free. Nobody pays. You run a promotion. $1 for the first month. 4 people sign up. 2 of them never log in. 1 cancels after 9 days. 1 stays and emails you every 3 days with feature requests that would each cost $800 to build. You realize something sitting at your desk 6 months later. You didn't build a business. You built a product. And a product without distribution is just an expensive hobby with a login page. The developer still emails you sometimes asking about phase 2. You don't respond. I couldn't sleep that night. The air was too still, and the moonlight kept sliding through the blinds like it was trying to tell me something, and suddenly, that's when I saw it. You find the vending machine idea in a podcast episode during your commute. It makes immediate sense. You buy a machine. You place it somewhere. People put money in. You collect the money. Nobody calls you. Nobody emails you. Nobody needs anything from you at 11 p.m. on a Sunday. You buy 1 machine for $2,200. The location takes 6 weeks to find. You approach 12 businesses. 11 say no. A nail salon on the edge of a strip mall says yes. You stock it with chips and drinks. You drive out every Saturday to restock and collect. First month, $67. Second month, $54. One of the drink slots jams. You spend $180 on a repair. Third month, $71. The nail salon calls. The machine is taking up too much space near the entrance. They want it gone by Friday. You move it to a storage unit temporarily while you find a new location. It sits there for 2 months. You approach 9 more businesses. 7 say no. One gym firm says maybe and never follows up. One office building says yes but wants liability insurance you don't currently have. The machine is still in the storage unit. You're paying $90 a month to store a machine that made $192 in its best quarter. Nobody told you the machine was never the hard part. The location was always the hard part. And location is a full-time job disguised as a passive income idea. This one you don't even build. You spend 3 weeks on it. A notes app with a specific feature set you've never seen anywhere. You sketch it out. You write a one-page pitch. You show it to your coworker Marcus at lunch. He says it's interesting. You take that as validation. You get quotes from 4 developers. The cheapest is $11,000. The most expensive is $28,000. You find a no-code platform that might work, but after 2 weekends of tutorials, you realize it can't do the one thing that makes your idea different. You post in a startup subreddit asking for feedback. Someone replies in 12 minutes. The app already exists. 3 versions of it. One has 40,000 downloads. Another was acquired last year. You close the tab. You sit with something that isn't quite embarrassment and isn't quite relief. You had the idea. Someone else had it first and already built it and already sold it. The market didn't need another version. The market barely needed the first one. 4 wrong turns. 4 different shapes of the same mistake. You keep choosing the thing that sounds like a business and works like a wish. You're still at your desk, still $340 at the end of the month, still looking. But something has shifted. You're done looking for the exciting thing. It's a Sunday morning. You're not watching business videos. You're not reading forums. You're driving to return something at a hardware store, and you pass a pressure washing crew working on a strip mall parking lot. 3 guys, a truck, a hose, loud equipment, dirty water running toward the drain. You don't think anything of it at first, but something makes you slow down at the light and watch for an extra second. One of them is, another is done with his section and leaning against the truck, checking his phone. The third is finishing up near the entrance. It's 9:15 on a Sunday morning. They look like they'll be done by noon. You think about your Saturday last week. The developer email you didn't answer, the vending machine sitting in a storage unit, the trading cards in a shoebox on your closet shelf. The light turns green. You keep driving. But something is different now. Something quiet. Something that doesn't have a name yet but feels like the beginning of a direction. You look it up that same Sunday afternoon. Not a video, not a forum, just the actual numbers. Equipment cost, average contract size, how many commercial clients you need before it replaces what you make at your desk. A pressure washer costs between $1,500 and $4,000. A commercial contract with a strip mall or office building pays between $400 and $800 per visit. Most contracts are annual. They renew in January without a phone call because the property manager has 20 other things to worry about and the parking lot still needs to be clean. You don't need an app. You don't need a developer. You don't need a platform that might pivot next quarter and take your business with it. You need a machine, a truck, and one person who will say yes. You spend the next 2 weekends doing exactly what you did with the vending machine, the software, the cards, research, forums, videos. But this time, something is different. The more you read, the less exciting it sounds, and you've learned recently that less exciting usually means less competition. You reach out to 7 strip malls in your area. 3 don't respond. 2 already have contracts. 1 says maybe in spring. 1 says yes. $480 per visit, twice a month. Renewable annually. $11,520 a year from 1 client who doesn't know your last name and doesn't need to. You buy the machine on a Friday. You work the first job yourself on a Saturday morning. It takes 4 hours. Your back hurts. Your shoes are soaked. You make $480 before noon. You don't feel like an entrepreneur. You feel like someone who just figured something out that was always there. You tell a coworker about the pressure washing. She asks if you also do house cleaning. You say no. She says she's been looking for someone reliable for months. Her last cleaner canceled twice, and stopped responding. She has 3 friends with the same problem. You think about it for exactly 4 days. The barrier to entry for residential cleaning is so low, it almost doesn't feel real. You need supplies. You need transportation. You need to show up on time and do what you said you would do. That last part, it turns out, is rarer than it sounds. You take on 2 clients the first month, then 4, then 6. You're cleaning on Saturday mornings and 2 weekday evenings after work. At 6 recurring clients paying $150 per visit every 2 weeks, you're making $1,800 a month on top of your salary. You're not scaling yet. You're not hiring yet. You're just showing up, consistently, to houses where someone is relieved every single time you leave because the thing they hate doing is done and they didn't have to do it. That relief is what they're paying for, not the cleaning. You understand that now. People don't pay for services, they pay to stop thinking about something. One of your cleaning clients owns a small bakery. She mentions one afternoon while you're finishing up that her accountant just raised his rates and she's looking for someone to handle basic monthly bookkeeping, invoices, expenses, reconciliation. Nothing complex, just organized. You tell her you'll think about it. You spend 1 weekend on a bookkeeping fundamentals course online. $97, 14 hours of content. You finish it in 2 weekends. You take her on at $600 a month. She refers you to another small business owner within 6 weeks. That owner refers you to 2 more. You now have 4 bookkeeping clients. $2,400 a month, 4 to 6 hours of work per client per month. You're doing this from your kitchen table on Tuesday and Thursday evenings. Nobody in any of these businesses needs a certified accountant. They need someone organized, reliable, and available. Someone who answers the phone. Someone who sends the report before the deadline without being reminded. You are that person. You realize something while reconciling a bakery's November expenses at 9 p.m. on a Thursday. The most valuable thing you're selling isn't accounting. It's the fact that you show up every month without being asked twice. In every industry, in every niche, that is rarer than any skill. You learn about pest control from a man you meet at a small business networking event. He's not flashy. He drives a van with a logo that looks like it was designed in 2009. He sells no dream. He describes his business the way someone describes a utility bill. Matter of fact, consistent, slightly boring. He has 43 monthly contracts, restaurants, office buildings, a school district. You do the math on a napkin while he's talking to someone else. 43 contracts at an average of $200 per month. $8,600 a month. Recurring. Without a new sale being made. You ask him later how he finds clients. He says he doesn't anymore. They find him. A restaurant gets a health inspection warning. They call whoever answers first. He answers first. They sign a contract. The contract renews because no restaurant wants to risk a second warning. The urgency is built into the product. He doesn't sell pest control. He sells the absence of a problem that would cost his clients far more to have than to prevent. You understand immediately why this business never struggles to find customers. Nobody waits until it's convenient to deal with a cockroach problem. They deal with it the moment it becomes real. And at that moment, price is not the first question they ask. 8 months into pressure washing and cleaning and bookkeeping, you have $14,000 saved. Not from your salary, from the side. You start thinking about something that doesn't require your time every single week. Something that runs on its own. Something people use whether the economy is good or bad, whether it's raining or sunny, whether they're happy or miserable. People will always need to wash their clothes. That sentence is not exciting. That's the point. You spend 6 weeks researching laundromats. The numbers are almost offensive in their consistency. The laundromat industry in the United States generates approximately $6.8 billion a year. Average revenue per location is $150,000 annually. Profit margins reach up to 35%, and approximately 95% of laundromats are still operating after 5 years. Compare that to any restaurant. Compare that to any app. Compare that to 4 trading cards in a shoebox on your closet shelf. You find a laundromat for sale in your city. It's been running for 11 years. Same owner. He's retiring. The books are clean. The machines are maintained. It has a customer base that has been coming in every week for over a decade. You don't build this business. You buy one that already works. The owner trains you for 2 weeks. You learn the machines. You meet the regulars. You understand the rhythm of the place. On your first solo Saturday, you sit in the back office and watch people come in and wash their clothes and leave. Nobody needs anything from you. Nobody is having a problem. The machines run, the quarters come in. The doors open and close all morning without you doing anything except being present. You think about the developer email you never answered. You think about the vending machine in the storage unit. You think about the app that already existed with 40,000 downloads. And then you stop thinking about any of it because a woman asks if you have change for a 20, and you do. 2 years later, the pressure washing has 3 commercial contracts now. The cleaning runs with 1 part-time person you hired 6 months ago. The bookkeeping has 7 clients. The laundromat paid for itself 14 months in. You're still at your desk job. For now. You find the parking lot by accident. A small lot behind a coffee shop in a busy part of the city. 12 spaces. The owner of the building is not a real estate investor. He inherited the property from his father and has been renting the lot informally to the coffee shop next door for less than market rate for 9 years because he never thought to look at what it was actually worth. You make him an offer to lease the lot and manage it yourself. He says yes in the same week. You install a payment system. You set the rate. You do nothing else. Month 1, $3,200. Month 2, $3,400. Month 3, $3,100. No product, no inventory, no customer service, no employee managing the location. Just 12 spaces and the right price in the right part of the city. You sit with that for a moment. A parking lot. 12 spaces. Generating more per month than you made in your first year of working. You think about what you were actually looking for 2 years ago when you bought the trading cards, when you paid the developer deposit, when you drove out to the nail salon every Saturday to collect $67 from a machine that eventually ended up in a storage unit. You were looking for something that ran without you, something that paid you for owning it rather than for showing up, something that didn't require you to be brilliant or lucky or first. You had the right goal the whole time. You just kept choosing the wrong road to get there.